Alright, now, like I'm trying to explain to you, how were you taught to date today, right? You find a girlfriend. Right? Everybody, when I was growing up, was taught to try and find a girlfriend, right? Not a boyfriend if you're a boy, or a girlfriend if you're a girl. Until now. And I'm telling you why they're doing that too, the population, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't care if you're gay or straight or bi, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the idea, though, is find one partner and stay with that one partner, right? Right. Now, the Bible, the law of Moses does deal with divorce, that, right? See, that's your problem, though, right? But could it be for any cause, right? Right. That's what they're debating there, right? Right. And some people say, oh, no, you can't divorce. That's not what Jesus is talking about, right? He's talking about hypocrisy, right? You know what I mean? This is a hypocritical idea of marriage. Right. If you fall out of love with your partner and you're not happy, God ain't saying stay with that partner, right? Either, right? Okay. Or you're not doing something right? Or say your husband is beating you. You ain't gotta stay with that man, right? By the way. No, you don't. You can find you another man, even if he knocked you up or something. Whatever, right? But the problem is control, right? Nobody really has it. The only person, like I keep telling you can control is you, right? Now, when I met Sheena, I was treating her like she could become my girlfriend, potentially my wife, right? You know what I mean, right? That's how I treated all my girlfriends, right? Even the one night stands who are, in a motel room with another man. So, right. If you know what I mean, right? I know, right? Now, the problem is, though, right? I don't know what all happened to the women I was around, right? Especially from the time I joined the Navy to the time I got out, right? When I was with the most number of women, right? Now I kind of am like my teenage years, kind of waiting but not sure what's going on, but I know something's going on, right? Someone's messing me real hard about my dating life, right? But I don't know after children. I know there's an age of consent, right? I mean, see, you can't make me because you want me to be a pedophile, right? That's what it sounds like to me, right? You want me to be one, right? Don't matter to you whether I really did something with the girl or not, right? And even if I could have done something that looked sexual, don't mean it was sexual necessarily, depending on what it was, right? And see, then I'm trying to go through a list, right? Well, what could I have done that would look sexual? Say I was trying to spell her and stuck my tongue out or something. But I actually licked my stepdaughter's vagina, or I assimilated it, right? See, the thing is, right? Right. The camera can't tell if I licked her or not, right? Alone. If you're doing something to make me and the girl suddenly alone together and neither one of us knows what to do, right? Or why the other person is in there with him, right? What that creates is a situation where something unusual could happen, right? But not something against the law itself, right? Right. And what's the difference? Choice, right? See, there's only 4 reasons I know that a child could be waking you up And two of them have to do with possibly undressing, right, right. One is helping her pee. If she came all the way in the living room to you or somewhere in that general area, right? And her mom's not to be seen, right? That's the only way you could interact with her too that way, right? Or anyway, right? You're trying to figure out why the person seems to know what they can't know unless they were there, right? And even my ex-wife would have to not be visible for me to do certain things with her or not too, you know what I mean? Right, right. If I was to smell her crotch, right, versus licking her, right, which are two different things, by the way, right? The difference is, in one, I'm just sticking out my tongue to distract the child while I'm trying to smell her crotch area to make sure she didn't pee or something, right? So when I go back up, right, with my tongue out and back up, right, even if I look like I'm licking at it, right, I'm not, I'm not, right, really trying to lick it, right. But now, the thing about any camera versus reality is they shrink the scene, right. You can't tell how tall the person is, right? Like on Jennifer today, Jennifer is standing next to one of the ladies on the Food Network's Halloween thing, right? Well, standing next to Jennifer, I'm wondering how tall is Jennifer and how tall is the woman, right? Compared to one another, right? Not that I ever seen either one, right, till today, right? But one looks like a little girl next to Jennifer, right? And I mean, right. She's either a little person herself, right? But looks almost like she could pass for a child or a pubescent girl, right? Even, right? But, I mean, what's going on there, right? And the show's on right now, so it's from the 4 to 5 o'clock hour for Jennifer's show. Right. Right. Today is the 18th of October, by the way. So, anyway, right. Now, only way you're going to do something unusual with your stepdaughter is she's not acting normal herself in waking you up. Right. Now, that's not blaming her for my behavior, but that is to say, if I'm acting weird, so is the girl, right? And if she's in there with me alone, I gotta figure out why, right? Nothing wrong with the two reasons either, right? You know, either helping her pee or, maybe taking a bath with her. Would be the two reasons I might would interact oddly with her, right? But still not sexual, right? With her either, right? I was taught to kind of compartmentalize sex, right? Like, I was taught if I wanted to masturbate to a Playboy, that was different than actually having a girl want sex with you and consenting to it, right? You can do the Playboy models all you want because you're just relieving tension, right? Like I said before, right? Now, the problem is, right, with premarital sex, Moses' law says one thing about it, whereas Paul's saying something kind of different, but he also points out he's not doing it as a commandment from the Lord, right? And I think what you're not understanding is sex itself is what Paul is trying to explain to them with the daughters of the men, right? And today we date, right? But we can still have premarital sex, but they're calling that a sin, right? Well, what does the law say about it, right? See, if you're a Jew, right, or a Christian who's following the Jewish Messiah, by the way, right, you're taught to try and follow the Torah, right? Or the 5 books of Moses called the law. Mm-hmm. Now, the 5 books of Moses, though, they seem more biographical than autobiographical. Why? You can't write your own obituary, right? And someone wrote Moses' obituary, right? Well, it can't be Moses, right? Unless you wrote your own obituary and then died, right? I mean, right. I mean, that's not impossible, is it? Right. I mean, technically you could, right? But see, a biography is different than an autobiography because the biographer has to be familiar with her interaction with the historical person, right? But that don't mean they knew every little detail either, or might not have left out something important, right? Or what was important to them wasn't as important to us as it is today, right? So that's another problem we run into with religion. Self-righteousness is as filthy rags to the Lord. Our righteousness alone can't save us, right? Are we to do right acts? Yeah. In general. But say you do have premarital sex with a female, and she's unbetrothed as Moses dealt with. What do you do? Marry her? Right. I know. Or pay her dowry or something? Right. Yeah. See, the Bible don't say you can't have premarital sex. What it does say about it, though, is if you do try to marry the woman you had premarital sex with, and get married with her and see her in the marriage race. Now, today, we are boyfriend and girlfriend, right? So if the boyfriend is asking the girlfriend to marry him, he must have read that scripture and is trying to do the right thing, right? Because they have premarital sex, right? And he's also trying to repent of the premarital sex, but do the right thing, right? That's the difference, though, right? Between going to the law and going to an opinion of men, right? Men will tell you everything you do is wrong if you let them, right? Including relieving yourself sexually without a woman, right? Well, how do I know you might can do that? Well, Moses talks about spilling your seed, right? By yourself before evening, right? Without a Playboy. So, obviously, a man's alone in his home, right? I guess, right? Don't say where, right? And doing something to get his seed out, or his semen, right? Or his, seminal fluid, whatever you want to call it, right? Now, that's why I'm giving you several different names for it, right? Because it's being called different things, right? Now, yada, like I keep telling you, means sex, your knowledge, not just knowing someone casually as a friend or an acquaintance even, right? So if you're being told this, right, it's because other people quit telling you this, true, right? And it has to do with the Gnostics and Orthodox, which became two sects of Christianity, and the Orthodox couldn't discern what the Gnostics were saying, right? So they tried to make Jesus, I'm trying not to fall asleep. I'm tired. Sore. Bullying. Now that's all part of the point, though. Now there were even women I heard though, like from during the Middle Ages, for example, who didn't want a husband. They didn't want to get married at all, right? And some were flat out refusing to get engaged to a man, right? What about these women? Can they get married? Yeah. The thing is, the woman also has power over her own body, for example, right? If we give them freedom of, rights equal to that of men, right? You got to. All right, well, if you see what I mean, that makes it more difficult for us today, right? Yeah. See, I had premarital sex with some of the women I was with, but I wasn't that I didn't want to get married eventually, right? It's just that it didn't work out, right? But Paul's saying something the Bible don't support, right? King David, for example, was a promiscuous man and married more than one woman, right? So did Solomon. The law will allow a man more than one wife, right? So what about that, Christians? Now, if you want to be a bishop or a deacon in the church, Paul said, yeah, you need one wife, right? But he didn't say this to an apostle or a prophet or a teacher or an evangelist, right? Or, pastor. But he did say something about a bishop or a deacon, which, where does that come from? Who said anyone was a bishop or a deacon in the New Testament church, right? Did that even come up in the first century? Right. Or was that by men after the disciples died, right? Out. Who aren't sure how to lead the church, right? And even came up with the idea of the Pope. Who's Pope? Well, they say the first one was the Apostle Peter, but is that a good idea? Probably not. Just like dating isn't what you make it out anymore, right? We have free will in America, right? So with free will comes a different responsibility, right? Say a couple is gay, right? Or straight or bi, right? Or someone wants to go into pornos, right? Why is it that they can do so in the first place, right? And yet you think you gotta tell them it's wrong. Well, that's not minding your own business, is it, right? So what, does that make you a pedophile baby yourself, right? I don't know, right? Alright. But that's kind of the problem we're all dealing with now, right? Gay, straight, bi, celibate even, right? How do we date when the world used to arrange marriages and things like that, right? In the 20th century, especially in America, or all over the world, right? That's what I'm trying to help us all figure out here, because trust me, I've been in some crazy one-night stands, right? And crazy relationships where I don't know what the hell is going on, right? But try to do the right thing either way, right? Really trying not to go to sleep again, right? Alright, well, I'm going to take a nap. And then in an hour, get up, right?